in this episode, we are going to implement the changes we discussed in the last video. So we're going to try to tidy up this website and get the desktop version completed, really. So let's pop over to your screen. All right, so the three things we wanted to do in the nav bar are add a logo, change the link font size, change the link's font and potentially the size, and then add colors. And then we don't have, I don't think, did we add a max width to that div block that we replaced the container with? I don't know if we did, so we might have to
don't recall.
Change that. So change all the list. All right. So if you want to start with whatever you want to start with and try to do stuff, and then let me know if you need help. Otherwise, we can just get cracking.
Oh, that's so very trusting. Okay, do we want to address the overall issue of the font that we had as kind of a conceptual issue? And either change a font to start with, or do we want to just tackle that section by section?
What do you mean? Just put it in lowercase?
The Scotland font, yeah. Do we want to just do lowercase? Is that kind of a... Do we just think that as a kind of a... All right.
The question, though, is, do you need to change the font altogether if it's not legible at that size?
Yeah. All right, and we can certainly try. We'll do some test run of that option. We got a nice little elements tab here, don't we? And then we can choose that guy, and there he is. All right.
There you go.
Perfect. Okay. All right, now for the sizes. Now, is this where we want to add?
Probably because this is I would probably just create a new class.
Okay.
For that. Actually, go into the text already. Just double click into the text. Let's see what comes up. So just regular paragraph. Yeah, it's pulling it from somewhere else. So you could either give it a custom class of just nav copy.
And then how do we want to assign this, by weight or by just size and rems, or what's our solution for?
Yeah, you're gonna have to play around with it. Yeah.
That seems a little punchy to me. All right, I think I'm okay with that for right now.
All right, so then you'll just want to go in and add the actual links you need, the actual tabs and stuff.
All right, well, let's go to, all right, so we got a videos one, and I guess we got the contact one could go to the contact form. That kind of makes sense. So we'll change that to the spotted Nessie form. We already got the videos. Well, let's take one to the NFTs. So that's kind of the whole big function of this of this website. So let's change that to the NFTs. And then let's see. those to a section.
Yep.
And then that takes us to the NFTs. We already did the videos, and the contact will then take us to the form. Although we don't want to call this contact anymore. So I saw Nessie. Oops. So we'll just do I saw Nessie.
No, you just use the spacing thing. That little toggle in the top right.
Oh, this one here. Yep.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, so now just the background color.
Okay, and let's see. I think we'd like to try maybe the red or the gold that we liked.
Well, probably not, because if you look at your logo, so you have a white.
Yep.
So you probably want to
that's
match
right.
that.
Since that's not a transparent
Yeah.
image. All right. So white it is.
And either way, we would probably not want to use that much red or yellow. It'd be very hard for people to read stuff on that.
All right. Okay. So do we need to do a... Now, since it's just white, we don't need to create a class for that, do we?
Well, this is a custom item. Nav wrapper is a custom class. So yes, you would just go style it directly in the style panel. You don't need to add a combo class.
Okay. So this isn't our off-white. This is actually just straight up white. Right? So how do I get to a straight up white here in this?
I think white is FFFFF. Or is that black? I can't remember.
That looks pretty white to me.
All right, so you got to. Let's try going to the nav bar, since that's the parent element, and changing the background color there. See what that does.
There we go.
All right, there you go.
Much better.
All right, so that's everything on the nav bar. So now we're on to the next section. All right, so the next section, the three things you wanted to do were make the image bigger, so make the section bigger, and then do larger text, and then increase the contrast.
Okay, so I do.
All right, so I would delete the padding X huge and type in and try to go for a bigger one.
Add, what are my options?
I would just type in XX to start.
XX huge.
Yeah, try that. All right, so that's a rough start. We also wanted to adjust the you want to do some stuff to the text. You want to make the text larger. So if you want to work on that and then work on your contrast and maybe then your sorting and stuff, that might help us. So you can probably give that text a custom class, so that way it doesn't mess any of the other settings. So I'd probably go call it like header copy or something or whatever, as long as you'll know what it is. And then I'd probably up the rems on that. Probably
Yeah,
bigger,
I think
maybe
we might.
10 or 12. All right, there you go. So now you could either decide to change the color, yeah, to like the red probably. That would probably give you the most contrast.
Okay.
And then you could align it differently if you wanted to inside your text header. If you wanted to put it near the top, you could probably try to sort that.
This is better. At least this is more legible, but I don't care as much.
You're okay with how that looks?
Yep,
Okay. All right, so your next section is the news one, and it looks like you wanted to make the image smaller.
correct.
So we can try to shrink the class to like a small.
Yeah, for some reason it really just was this medium just somehow wasn't kicking in.
All right,
Okay,
there you
that's
go.
better.
And I'd almost, well, no, it looks pretty good. All right, boom, news, done. All right, so on the next section, you were going to try to make the section bigger so you can see more of the image. And then we're going to do larger text and then add in more text.
All right, that's enough for at least that gives us a good chunk of the map available.
All right, so what I would do, let's actually, all right, so you wanted to make the header larger on that one.
Oh, yep, this
So I'd
font.
probably up
Yep.
it to just an H2. No, so you don't want
All
to,
right.
no, let's leave that because you don't want to mess with settings because it's a global class. You just want to click it and then do the setting
Okay.
toggle and then just up to an H2.
Here.
Yep, there you go. And is that enough of the map showing? Do you want more of the map so that it feels like a full section? Because you could up the padding on the padding vertical.
Oh, I think that's good. I actually kind of like that it's a um, yeah, that's good.
All right, so then on the next one, the NFT section, it looks like we wanted to add the little bios in there. So we will, once you finish that, we will want to go in and bind some text. So if you want to grab the first item, the first field, all right, and we are going to want to Command E and add in a paragraph. All right, and then we want to get text from Nessie NFTs
Where do we do this?
right in your down, just right in that little
Oh,
box that
there we
popped up,
go.
and then just select the description.
NFT description. Okay,
Okay.
very good.
So then the only question is, do you want to style it somehow? Are you happy with that beneath it? What else do you want to add of those different elements you
Let's see.
created?
I think we want to have the font a little bit smaller.
Okay. So then what we'll want to do is give it a custom class up in the settings and do
Okay.
CMS copy. And then you can change the font down in the rems right there.
Size rem, so go to like 0.75.
You want it smaller?
Yes.
Yeah, then try that.
All right, that works.
Okay. Do you want it styled? It does kind of look weird that everything's not centered in the box. So one thing we could do is grab the actual item and maybe center it via Flexbox or something. So grab the whole item and yeah, there you go. And then just turn it to a Flexbox and center it. Oh, there you go, right there. Yep. That's a grid child, so you can just center it.
And then,
Actually, undo that. Undo that real quick. Yeah, just try setting it those justifies and centers right up there. See if that does anything for you. There we go. But it did not center the image down. I'm kind of confused on that middle row, middle icon.
yeah, there's a few here that it didn't.
Why don't you undo that? Let's undo that. Command Z. And let's try doing Flexbox real quick.
Okay. Um,
And then do vertical. And then, yeah, north, the middle one. There we go. All right, there you go. Then the question is, do you want a little bit of spacing above the paragraph? So on the bottom of your div, on the bottom of the div block, so grab the div block where the image is in, and I would just add a little bit of, yeah, so grab that, and I would add a little bit of margin on the bottom, like 0.5 or maybe even 0.25 rem or something. Okay, that way just know the text is right over it.
and then we could even add maybe a little bit of margin between each of the grid items yet.
Yep.
So how would I do that to the entire collection?
Yeah, so just grab the entire collection item. So next to your div, go back to your, don't worry about the navigator yet, just click that. And then add some on the spacing thing. Some margin on the bottom probably. So probably like 0.5 rem. Or however much you want, I suppose.
Yeah, go up. Let's try 1. All right.
And then did you name each of these?
Each of
The NFTs. Just trying to think of what else information we can pull out.
I don't recall. I don't recall what other field names we had.
Well, let's go look in the CMS real quick, because potentially we could add the name of them above it. All right, so let's just open one random one.
Yeah, so there is a name.
So we could put the name above it. That would kind of look nice. So we can then grab the whole collection, Command E, grab in, I'd probably grab in a heading. And then probably put that as like an H6 or H5 or something further down the road. Maybe a little bigger, maybe H4. All right, and then get text from the Nessie NFT, the name, and then I throw that at the top of the, I drag that up to the top of the item, and you might need to do that in the navigator. If you want to collapse the map so we can see again where you're at.
All right.
Perfect. All right, well, that looks pretty good.
Yep,
All
that's
right.
better with the title.
So the next section then, because that was all you had in that one.
Yep.
All right, so the form section, we wanted to make it not as wide. So we'll probably want to grab the form wrapper. And probably adjust the width on the form wrapper. Or actually, is there a container large? Yeah, you probably could do container small again. Boom. Looks pretty good. All right, so we wanted to change the button color. So we'll want to look at what class that has. That's just a submit button, so we'll want to just give it a class of green button or whatever, button dash green or button is green or whatever you want to do. Actually, wait, just go name it button. Sorry, go back up. Just name it button because we should have that color already applied. No, no. Oh, yeah, there we go. Apply. Yep, yep, that's good. All right. All right, so we did the button. So we wanted to change up the field order to make it a little more sense. So probably put the email up higher. And then we wanted a header on the whole inside the form thing. So I'd probably do that outside the form block. I mean, I guess you could leave it there if you want it there. So I'd still do it inside the form component, just above the form block. There you go. Yeah, right there's perfect. And then the only other thing we were going to do is maybe up the font on those things. Unless you don't think that really matters. That's just more a little technical
I
thing.
guess if we take out the uppercase, then they probably are pretty tiny.
Yeah. All right, so if you start at the top one, and we probably just want to give it a custom class of form copy. And then we can go on the rem sizing and change it there. Probably go a little smaller, like 1.5 maybe. Or maybe 2. I guess it was coming up weird on mine. But yeah, 2. I guess either way. Yeah, 1 or whatever you got is fine. And then just add all those other classes in. And then while you're doing that, do you like the width of the submit button? Do you want it wider? Do you like that it's that small?
It is definitely too square, my opinion.
So you'd want to round it?
I like it wide. I would like it wider than it is tall.
All right, so somehow that one you just did, when you changed the text on that, that did not look very well or very good. So I would undo that one and probably just give it a separate class or maybe even just leave it as it is. It's kind of, so I would do like,
Sure, that's fine.
all right,
Yep, we can leave that one.
so make it a little, all right, so let's click the button. So let's go to width and do 50%. Okay, there we go. And then I don't know if you like how the submit text is kind of small in there. Oh, because we didn't change the class on that text.
Oh, right.
So you have to double click the button text. Double click the text. We have to X out of that settings window. Or actually, wait, sorry, you can actually, when the button's selected, we can go in the style panel, my bad, and just set the rem higher. And now because it is form, it won't affect anything else. So you could go to like 3 rem. See how big? Yeah, there we go. That's not bad. All right, there we go. Looks pretty decent. And if you want to collapse that section in the navigator.
Yep.
All right, move you back there. All right, let's skip this one section because this is going to be the longest section. So let's skip that section and let's go down to the videos and just add
Okay.
in your, so the two things you wanted to do was add a 6th video and add a header above the videos.
Okay. Oh, we gotta add a, oh yeah, I want to add a div block for the header, right?
Because it's only
Or
one
do I
item,
have a,
yeah, I would just grab, so click the padding vertical button. Yeah, if you click
okay.
that, and now you can add the heading, and then it should appear above the videos. Or not. Okay, I guess you have to drag that up. There you go.
Okay.
And then, are you happy with the size of it? Are you happy with the left align? Are you happy with the, do you want padding underneath of it? Underneath it?
I think I probably just want to center it.
Okay. So then you can make a global class. You can add the global class is text center, I think. Align center. Existing classes. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I guess not. Text align center.
Text.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. So then we just need to add in the
And
6th
then,
video.
all right. And so then we click on this one and then we do video. That. There we go.
All right. Nice. And then let's drop down to the form section.
Footer.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the footer. All right. So for the footer, we decided we're going to do 3 sections. So we'll probably want to add a div inside the footer and then probably make it a grid that has 3 rows, columns. I think 3 columns and then 1 row. So we'll probably want to call that footer wrapper or something, however you want to name that, and then turn that into a grid.
So we're calling this the footer wrapper.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, throw it in the grid. Give us 3 columns, 1 row.
And we're calling this, this is a grid. This is where we're adding, wow, I just spaced here. You
So
can
you
tell it's
don't need
been a
an,
little while since our
yeah, you don't need an
not adding an
element.
element.
Yeah.
Yep. Is this where we're just adding?
Nope, you're just in your layout tab. So you got basic, flex, and grid.
Oh yeah. Wow. All right.
There you go.
I spaced that one hard.
So you'll want
Okay.
to
And then
leave
how
that.
many rows and columns
Wait,
did you
so
say?
yep, you want to leave that section open that you just closed out of. Yep, click that. Perfect. There you go. So we're doing a 3 by 1
3
wide.
columns, 1 row.
Yep. And then change the gaps to rem measurements. Nope, up in your current settings. There you go, yep. Okay,
Okay, what else?
and you're done with that thing. Then the one thing I'd probably do is just guessing you're going to probably want to give 1 rem padding on every side. And
And
so
I
now
know
you
you
can,
said there was a way to a
so what
key.
you can do, so go back, just click on the 1 rem you gave, and then hold and click shift. There you go. Perfect. All right. So now we want to add into those three. So here's what we're going to do in the three things. So where the first one is going to be our logo. The second one is going to be the anchor links to go back up. And the third one is going to be the Scotland flag.
Okay. How do I know if I'm working on a grid to click on something here? Do I have
So
to
you're in
enter
the,
a div block?
well, what are you trying to do at the moment? So you're going to do image, div, image, probably are your 3 items.
Yeah, so I was going to insert, I was going to work on the image first. I was going to start
Yeah.
on the far right one.
Well, so in grids, you have to start in the far left. So unless you add the other
Oh,
elements, you could do image, grid, image, and then just work on editing the third one. But you do have to start left to right.
okay. All right, and so we don't have an image yet, so I can, but can I just leave that placeholder there?
Sure. Yep. All right. So then in here, I'm just trying to think how's the best way to do this. We will probably want to do um, text links. So inside this div, I would name this div first, probably like footer nav, footer dash nav or something. And then what I would do is I would do Command E, and I would add in a link, a text link. Okay, we're really losing your video. It's kind of glitchy. So I think after we finish this footer section, we'll probably just wrap this video up and do the origin one in the next video. What are you doing at the minute? What are you working on?
I got a lag in my internet connection here or something.
Okay.
Um, yeah, we'll just give it a second here.
All right.
Catch
Well,
up.
this is pretty straightforward. So I think let's just end the video here due to technical issues. Because yeah, you're kind of moving around. The screen's kind of froze. So all right. Well, I think we did everything except for the origin tab. So we'll do that and probably well, we can either start working on the responsive stuff or work on the interactions. So some fun stuff next.
Okay.
So all right, good job.